Hi, Dawn from Honors. Today I'm going to be working on my fresh for my kitchen. I have this beautiful blue and white container that I'm going to be putting fresh in. And then I have a piece on my kitchen table that we're going to probably freshen up too. I made it about 3 weeks ago, so it's just time to give it a little fresh look. We're about 10 days out before Christmas, so we're going to run to the greenhouse and to the shop to get this project started. So join me. I'm here at the greenhouses and I'm going to do paper whites in my big blue and white pot. And this is the perfect day to do it because it's actually snowing outside. We're supposed to get 3 to 6 inches tonight, so this would be a great indoor project today. But I love paper whites. I love, love, love my paper whites. And then I have a little amaryllis bulb here. So I don't think it's going to be blooming because we're 10 days out before Christmas. But that's okay. I wouldn't mind having it for my kitchen after we take all the Christmas stuff down. To have something nice and bloomy would be really good. So I'm going to grab all 3 of these pots and we're going to put at least 2 of them inside that container. And I'm sure I can find something for the 3rd pot. So I'm going to grab these. This is one of my favorite containers that I have. I love big stuff on my island, and I love having the fresh on it. I bought this a couple years ago, and it's just truly one of my favorite pieces. And I did the paper whites. I did 3 pots of them, and I planted them a week before Thanksgiving, and so now we're getting very close that they're going to start to come out and bloom here. I'm not sure if I'm going to hit Christmas or not. Once they get into the warm house, I'm hoping that they're going to open even more, so we're going to hopefully be perfect timing on this. But for this container, I put a big piece of styrofoam in it to raise it up. I'm going to put that in the middle, and then I'm going to go ahead and place my paper whites right in the center. And then I'm going to be adding some sticks. I'm going to build an arbor or an armature. So I'm going to slide my sticks right down into my soil. I love to build things. And this is one of my favorite things to build is a grid. So I'm going to do 4 sticks, 2 in each pot. And then I'm going to take other branches and I'm going to attach them with this is just a 22 gauge wire, and I taped it in brown so you can't see the wire, so it looks natural with the twigs. I love to make grid or armatures. It's one of my favorite things to build. There's something about having just fresh, ready for Christmas that is so nice to have your home all ready. So this week I plan to be doing like my dining room and everything. That way we can be ready for the holidays. It looks like we got about 2 inches of snow in just this past hour. It's really coming down. So we're going to probably have a white Christmas, which we haven't had for several years. So it's nice even having fresh for sure in the house when it's snowing outside. Okay, I did the sides. Now I'm going to do my other 2 pieces. Alrighty. Join those together. You can kind of see that. Then I'm going to join my last one here. Last one. Put them tight so they don't fall apart. Okay, so now my paper whites are going to come up right through that. But then I'm going to camouflage with some sheet moss. And this is kind of special sheet moss. I picked all this up when we were in the Tennessee mountains, and I have a good story about that. As I'm gathering along the side of our cabin, for about 2 days, I picked up about 3 or 4 garbage bags. I got the worst case of chiggers you've ever seen. Oh my goodness. I ended up having to go to the doctor and get medicine. It was the worst thing ever. So I highly recommend maybe not doing that. I'm going to put a little piece of styrofoam in here to help fill up some void for my moss. Ooh, look how pretty that is already. A little bit more moss. Okay, I want a little moss around my plants itself so it looks real natural. Okay, now I've decided that I'm going to add a little fresh to this. So I soaked a piece of Oasis and I'm going to drop it right down there. I'm swing it around to design dough. So I want to do a little fresh in that. Some of my beautiful magnolia that I have. And then I have some pine cones that are on picks. We're going to nestle those down in there. Little white pine. Little flat cedar. This flat cedar is just unbelievable. It just smells divine. A little bit of balsam. Get these a little bit higher. Okay. Oh, let's put a little bit more in. Since this is my focal of my kitchen. A little bit more white pine. Okay, so my front side has a little bit of fresh pine in it, and then my paper whites are going to grow up and they're going to be right about here. So my armature is the perfect size for my paper whites to grow up through. So this is a quick and simple, beautiful centerpiece. It did take a little timing because I had to plant my paper whites about a month before Christmas. So you need to kind of do that. And this extra pot that I have here, I'm sure I have something at home that I'll drop right down into, put a little bit of moss around that and just set in the corner or something to accent into one of the rooms that I have. I kind of forgot that I had this winterberry yet, so I've decided to add this winterberry to this also, just to help carry a little bit more red into the kitchen, since my kitchen centerpiece is going to be with a lot of red in it. And I think it just adds another element to this. Oh my gosh, it is simply gorgeous. Oh, so pretty. I cannot wait for these to bloom. Okay, I'm gonna start working on my other container. And I'm hoping that we can get home because it's really snowing. It's a good thing I live really close to the shop. This is my kitchen table centerpiece I made a couple weeks ago. I was so anxious to get fresh in there, but this actually is a faux amaryllis, and I just slid it right down into styrofoam. But after 3 weeks in the house, it starts to look a little dried up. So I pulled some of the pieces that were already dried, but most of this looks really good. I do add water about 2 times a week because pine really does draw up. But I want to go ahead and freshen it up. So I'm going to add a little bit more of this flat cedar. And I do have some magnolia. I wish this magnolia was a little bit darker green, but that's just what my tree looks like right now. And it really won't take much. This is an old ironstone bowl that I've had for years. It's one of my favorite pieces to use at Christmas time because you can get a beautiful shape and size on this. And then I always put pheasant feathers. I love pheasant feathers, so I always have pheasant feathers. And more winter berry is going to go right down into here. I'm going to water this once I get home. And so it should be good for Christmas here. This is amazing. Oh, I got a little hole here. Let's add a little bit more. The other berries are faux. I've had those for years. So we're almost ready here to go home and slide it on the dining or kitchen table. Maybe I'll give you a little tour and kind of walk through the house a little bit so you can see kind of what I have done this holiday season. So, okay, this guy's, he's all freshened up and he's ready to be put on the kitchen table. So let's head back to the house. Okay, we made it home despite the snow. We got a couple inches of snow. So this is the island piece. It looks fabulous with all the red berries and stuff in it. And then the table piece. Love the way this red looks in the kitchen. It's the perfect combination. It works great with my light and everything. But what I wanted to show you is my cabinet that I did. I love Santas, as you can tell. And I have all kinds of different Santas in here. And I love the battery operated lights and the candles that you do with the remote. Oh my goodness, it's one of my favorite things. I love that they're all timed. And so they all click on. And when you come into the house, it looks fabulous. And then on this side, I have some really neat pieces. This actually was my grandma's. And as a kid, I used to beg her to get the red hots out of that. So that's kind of a dear piece to me. And then this Santa is really old. That was my grandma's too, I do believe. So. I'm so glad that you joined me today. I love making my videos. I really do. And hopefully next week I'm going to do a few things that we do in Fresh. I'm going to set my table and I'll do a big centerpiece for that. So I'll probably film that and probably show you the rest of the house. I appreciate you following me. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And we'll be seeing you real soon.